Hey guys, Touch coming at you. It's about 7:45 on Tuesday night. Just out in the garage, not really doing too much. Just having a look over things. Wasn't as nice a day as it was supposed to have been today. I've got it up to 19 degrees Celsius in the garage. It's probably about -2 outside. It's kind of nasty. It's quite rainy. It was supposed to be quite a warm day today, but that didn't really shape up. And it's supposed to be quite warm tomorrow. I know I just saw a video from John, about how weird the weather is down there and how warm it was today. I think we're supposed to get that weather tomorrow, so we'll wait and see what it looks like tomorrow. Anyway, also watching one of John's videos, I see I got tagged on the favorite tool response videos. So fortunately I've had a little bit of an opportunity to think about what I wanted to do, because I've been watching everybody else's videos over the last week or so since the question has been posed to so many others. So I came out in the garage tonight and I sort of took a look around through my boxes and tried to find what I thought was the most used or the most sort of critical tool for me and what I do on my car. So I got a selection out, and we'll have a look what I picked. And I've got a few that are Triumph related and a few that are just sort of garage or shop related. So here we go. All right. So let's start with the Triumph related tools. And these tools, if you can see them there, if anybody knows what these are, I'm sure people like Neil and maybe Scott and Dave Mee are familiar with these. These tools are used to put on the inner and outer waist seals or door seals that go on either side of the glass in a Triumph TR series sports car. Anyways, anything up from a TR4 up through the TR6. These are indispensable for putting these stupid little clips on that hold these waist seals on the doors, and trust me, I've spent hours and hours fiddling around with them. So this one's actually got a little bit of a magnet on the end. It picks up a little clip. This one's actually got a little slot that picks up the clip. So two different style clips, one for the inside, one for the outside. See, these are indispensable for working on a TR 4 through 6 if you've got one. So those are a couple Triumph tools that I can't do without when it comes time to putting on those seals. The other thing I can't do without on my Triumph are feeler gauges. And this is some of the sets that I have. I don't know why I've got so many, but I guess I've collected them over the years. And some of these are quite old, actually. I've got some, Craftsman ones and a few others, but I quite like the angled version. It seems to work quite well on the TR6 at least. So these are used obviously on my cars to adjust the valves, which we do fairly frequently, and also to do the points. So set the point gap. So we use those quite frequently. So those are some important tools in my shop, especially with 3 Triumphs. So somebody already mentioned angle grinder. I think it might have been Mark Fatster Cat. I saw in one of his videos. This is an offset angle grinder, and I do use that quite a bit in my shop. That's one of probably the most used tools that I use. So I thought I would include that in the video. And I also use this little gear puller quite a bit. I use this primarily to push or pull bushings into place. That seems to work quite well. I have a larger one as well, but I seem to use this one quite a bit more. It seems to help with the bushings quite a bit. So that little guy has come into use on more than one occasion. So yeah, so those get used fairly frequently in my shop. Some of the larger tools, I still consider them tools, and more important tools in my garage are these wheel dollies. And these are, without a doubt, the best things for me trying to fit 3 TRs in a 2-car garage. I do have a set of the other dollies, the cast iron type wheels on them that are significantly cheaper than these. They don't roll as well, and the other thing that really sucks about them is that you actually have to get a jack out to jack the car up to put the dollies under the tires. As you can see, I don't know if you can see those or not, but these are self-jacking, so you basically expand the bottom piece around the tires, turn the knob to activate the hydraulics, and you just quickly pump it up with your foot. There's a locking pin that goes in place. Bob's your uncle. You can move the car around wherever you want. So these are important for me, like I said, because since I have 3 cars and I have a 2-car garage door, generally what I do is when I bring the one car in on this side and one car in on this side, I always have to put a car in the center. So I'm always having to jack a car up to move one over. So these are indispensable for me in the shop. So they're high on my list of important tools. The other thing that's high on my list of important tools is this, which is a pain in the ass to keep in the garage, but I tell you, I live alone, and I generally work on projects sort of spur of the moment. Like last night, I decided to take the body off the car. So if I didn't have this, I wouldn't be able to get the body off the car by myself. I would have been having to call a few friends over, and I would have had to planned it out quite a bit more out in the distance. So yeah, I use my engine hoist, or whatever you want to call it, shop crane, frequently to not only pull engines in and out, transmissions, whatever, but I also use it to hoist the body off and on quite frequently. And I've probably had the body off of this car about 100 times, no joke. So yeah, that's an important piece of equipment in my shop for sure. What else have I got here? I did think of one other thing. I'm just going to try to find it really quickly, but let me just see over here. Oh, here it is, up here. Let me see if I can dig it out. Sorry for the shaky camera, but I hadn't planned on it. This guy, I just remembered him, and it's along the same sort of themes as being independent. And this little dusty thing here is a brake bleeder, and this hooks up to the compressor. And again, being a single guy and being out in the garage, I don't have a significant other or a wife or a kid to come out and help bleed brakes or bleed clutches. So this hooks up quickly to the air compressor and works fantastic to actually get the air out of the lines. So makes bleeding brakes or bleeding clutches extremely easy. So that's another big piece of equipment that I use. I mean, I don't use it too often, but without it, it would be a total pain in the butt. So yeah, that's on my list of equipment that's highly regarded in my shop. And the last thing is things that I don't use that frequently, although I do happen to use this screwdriver quite a bit. That's an oldie but a goodie. So the reason that these 4 tools here in particular, and I have a few more, there's a big honking screwdriver here, an old pipe wrench, and we've got a big open-ended wrench. The importance of these are this signature on here. So, and this signature are these initials here, JGR. Well, JGR stands for John George Renault, my grandfather. My grandfather was a machinist in his lifetime. He's no longer with us. My grandfather gave me these tools. Unfortunately, I was never able to work with my grandfather out in the garage. I always knew my grandfather after he'd had his accident. He'd been in a bad car accident. I believe he was driving a 63 or 64 Impala and had gotten in an accident on his way home from work one day and went through the windshield of his car. Suffered some brain damage and was, after the accident, confined to a wheelchair. So I never got the ability to work in the garage with my grandfather, but he was always, encouraging me to be, in whatever I did, whether it be, sports or school or work or working on the cars. he would always be there to encourage me. So whenever I pick up a tool of his, I sort of think of him, and I think of him watching down over me while I'm working on my car. So yeah, those tools there are quite important to me. And every time I grab them, like I said, I think of my grandfather. So anyway, that's it for my shop, my important tools. So anyway, I guess at this point I need to tag a couple of other people, and I'm trying to think of a couple people who haven't been tagged by others. And hopefully these people haven't been tagged that I have in mind. So I'll just shout them out, and hopefully they'll do a video for us. So the first one is Ziggy. I don't know if anybody's mentioned Ziggy yet, but Ziggassedup. We're in Australia. I'd like to see Ziggy do a video on his favorite tool. And the other guy I'd like to see do a video is Ceedell, who's working on that 1938 Plymouth at the moment. Just finished up that 1968 Cutlass. So yeah, Wendell, I'd like to see Wendell do a video of his favorite tool. So that's about it for tonight, guys. I'm going to probably start to strip this body tub, get that primer off, get it back down to bare metal, and then we'll continue on with the whole bodywork process after that. So that's it for tonight. Thanks, John, for tagging me, and everybody have a good night. Talk to you later.